viewers, and welcome on today's Founder Talk Show. One of the most beautiful emotions in the world is expressing love and gratitude. People have different ways to express, and one of the most used way is gifting. A startup has changed the traditional way of gifting articles and books to gifting experiences. It is XOXO Day. Before starting the show, please like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell icon to get notified. Also, find us on our social media handle Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and check out our website on www.mystartuptv.in. XOXO Day is an online platform to reward the employees through acknowledging their accomplishments and gifting them online experiences. And so, my guest this evening is Mr. Sumit Khandelwal, the co-founder of XOXO Day, is joining us today in the Founders Talk Show. I'm your host, Shelly Saraf. Hello,
Hi
welcome to
Shelly.
the show, Mr. Sumit Khandelwal.
Hi Shelly.
So,
Thanks for calling me for this.
beginning with, I'm really curious to know your journey from a software engineer to co-founder of XOXO Day. Can you please let us know about your journey?
Yeah, I think it's a long time now, but yeah, I'll try to keep it as crisp as possible. Always, when you come from a business family and a Marwari family, you always have that enthu to kind of create something for yourself. Second, you always wanted to build something which is quite meaningful. So while I was doing my engineering, I kind of it was told that you learn a lot of good things about scale up a business to do an MBA. So I did my MBA, and post my MBA, I joined Wipro Consumer Care, where I handled roles of sales, marketing, and the good part of Wipro Consumer Care is it helps you learn entrepreneurship to a great extent because you are supposed to do multiple things together and you handle more as a business role itself. So you learn some good pieces over there. And then I joined Metro Cash and Carry. So while I was at Metro, I did do my first attempt towards startup where I started a company called as Recycle Trade India, where I believe that recycling could be something which is very meaningful, and how can we generate value out of it. In the first few months, I think you really got into startup mode. You always see that, okay, fine, I'm getting covered in some TV here, there. You feel great about it, and you don't really think much about how do you create value. So I learned also that I did not have co-founders, and so kind of did not do well. And I realized that it was more of just uh, a, a, a style statement than really doing a startup. So the next when I went after my while I was working in Metro Cash and Carry, I met a friend who told with whom I used to regularly discuss multiple business ideas. And one day he said, "Why don't you meet this guy called Manoj, and who also has been thinking of doing a startup? Why don't you guys meet around and see if you guys can do something meaningful?" Obviously, after that we dated. I and Manoj spent some time understanding each other, and then thought what we could do. After having spent 2 3 months, one fine day I said I'm leaving my job, and I quit the job, and then went ahead and said to Manoj, I've left my job. We need to start something now. So that's been the genesis, and since then it's been 8 years now. We kind of after joining hands with Manoj, we got another two founders, who's Abhishek and Kushal, and we four co-founders started this company. Been 8 years now in the space of a tech product company in the space of rewards, incentive, and engagement. And what we truly believe is businesses have been looking at this as a catalyst for growth. And with technology, we are trying to make the whole process very seamless, personalized, and scalable.
Right, that's really great. Also, I would like to know in the past 10 years, like you have co-founded and been a part of like three companies like Gift XOXO, Frogo, and XOXO Day. So many entrepreneurs feels like they feel starting a single company is a challenge. So how was your experience with these three companies?
So I think it's the same company. I've obviously, it's not possible for you to change companies.
Yeah.
We started a company. It was earlier called as Gift XOXO, which was where we started with saying that can we create a place where people can pull in money and do a gifting. That's where the name came in, Gift XOXO. While we're doing that, Gift XOXO, we realized that in the gifting space, experiences can be something which is fairly meaningful. And we started selling experiences as a gift. It was picking well, and we said, why not offer these experiences to end consumer, where they could use it for their when they're traveling to a particular city or within the city itself. So we said, why not kind of offer that as an independent brand, because Gift XOXO always have a connotation of gifting, and hence the brand name Frogo came in. The thought was, just like a frog, you keep hopping. Why not, when you're hopping in the city, use some experience? So that's where Frogo came in. Having spent 2 to 3 years spending going Gift XOXO and Frogo, we realized that handling multiple brands is not the best way to kind of scale businesses. And and we also took a back foot from experiences, saying experience is interesting, but India is a bit more early for an experience phenomena. So we took a deep thought around our business and took a pivot to create one brand company called as Zozo Day. And the Zozo Day, and we started focusing in the space. We wanted to get out of gifting as a word. We wanted to build something which is tech, and we wanted to have something which is very phenomenal to kind of our next phase of growth, and hence Zozo Day. So it's not three companies, primarily one company. We have kept changing names
Okay,
more to kind of align our strategy.
right. Okay. So
And
while
I would not suggest anyone to kind of do two, three companies at the one go in a startup.
yeah, yeah, like it's like entrepreneurs, it's like really like it's quite challenging. So yeah, that's right. So while going through your profile, like you have worked as a software engineer, then you did your MBA from TAPME, and you have work experience at Santur and Metro. So how did this experience help you in your entrepreneur journey, like so far?
I think everything which you do in your life helps you. You should not regret anything which you have done. All of these are critical, and all of these are something which would help you in some or other way. That's very generic statement, but to be kind of specific, uh, what you do when you work in a corporate world is you get the exposure about how a large enterprise works.
Hmm.
You are also able to take a lot of this understanding and risk at the cost of an organization, which means you can go through a hiring experience while you are not really kind of hiring at your own organization. You are able to look at what are the ways organizations think about scaling businesses or creating businesses, so you understand the kind of numbers which every organization follow.
Right.
And these really help you in terms of building those basics right when you start your own organization. So my suggestion also is about a startup with a somebody who's kind of taken good experience would really be able to make or build more meaningful stuff, because they would be able to understand that finally it's about the top line, the revenue, the margins, which really helps you grow businesses.
Right.
So yeah, those have been the ways, and I think I've been fortunate to work on some good companies, which stands for good promising brands. Also handle roles which are very sales, marketing, finance related. So learned a good depth about my kind of P&L statements, etc. Doing the job. MBA and education, I think that's the core, because you learn a lot from your friends and colleagues. It also helps you build a lot of network of people. This network of people really help you when you are going in. So I can, when the first few years of my startup, I used to reach out to all my friends seeking help, whether they could help me with some kind of customers or some feedback, etc., etc. So those are important in your journey.
So, like talking about the survival of the fittest is the principle of existence. So, like survive along with the making of other survivor fit enough to survive. So, can you talk about the Acqui hiring book my interest? Is it to widen the market base or another startup too? Like, will this be a new normal for the coming time?
So as an organization, we did not raise a lot of capital. We did not manage to raise a lot of capital. I'm kind of being candid. But what we've done is we have built businesses which have been built on thinking about scale
Yeah.
while focusing on profit, and ensuring that the fundamentals are taken care of. So that's been the philosophy of the business. What as founders, what you also look at is you look at people who would really help you in the journey. The core strength of any business is about the people and a team which you build. So through the journey, what we realized is if we are able to, the multiple companies. So I did mention while I was doing the Cycle Trade India, I did for 2 3 people, 2 3 year months or 4 months. and then I realized I couldn't do anything. So what we did as a part of our process was to we understood that good talent can be acquired by finding companies who are in similar space and asking them to kind of join hands and take a meaningful role. So that's been the whole phenomena. We actually hired good companies. These founders brought in a lot of energy, a lot of value to what we are doing as a business. And what it does to them is also kind of give a fair amount of exit to the companies whom we acquired. And what it does to us, it builds in a strong, solid leadership team who are able to think as founders, work as founders, because the energy which a founder gets is far higher than what a leader would get. So that's the way we have looked at. I think we've done 4 equi hiring. Yeah, and I think that's a phenomena which should stay, given that not many businesses scale up, not many businesses are able to kind of earn enough revenues or acquire enough investment to keep scaling.
Okay. So now I'd like to talk about like why XOXO Day is focusing more on like business to business rather than business to customers. Like, can you put your views on that?
So we kind of done through the whole cycle. We started with B2B, we tested with B2C with Frogo, we tested with B2C with even GiftZozo by offering gifting experiences to end customer, and then went back to B2B. So what you learn over a period of time as running startup is realize that what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. You also realize that what's your DNA yourself. B2C as a business is something which requires a huge capital. When there are companies like an Amazon, Flipkart, and others who have already solved a lot of these problems in different formats, the scope for existence of different companies are not there to a great extent.
Right.
Second, the whole B2B world is also going through a technology revolution. It's also going into a play where enterprise companies are getting into SaaS businesses, and that creates a huge chunk of opportunity for organizations or tech startups who would create smaller businesses which can offer solutions or software as a service to these B2B companies. And that's what we've been doing. So we work with more than 1,500 odd organizations today globally. And I think it's a B2B business also helps you with a low cash burn model, because you kind of have to just invest in technology, and B2B companies tend to give you profits as well. So that's something which is recommended for companies who want to make lot sustainable businesses, unless you have an idea where you are able to get huge investment, because without investment B2C businesses will not be able to kind of flourish.
Right. So, like talking about the finance is a big hurdle in the way of startups, and raising funds is the major, challenge for entrepreneurs. Like they struggle with so many things. So, how did you plan your investments? So, how do you think a new entrant will be, will have to plan their finances when they come up with a startup?
I think what you should be sure about is if you have thought that you would be able to earn some money in 2 years, it will take 4 years. I think any business plans are something in Excels are good. In execution, it takes a lot of time. So what you have to do is you have to be mentally prepared for a long run. It cannot be that. So I always use this as an example. 100-meter sprint run everybody can do, but a half marathon is something, or a full marathon is something which tests you. So when you have to think about starting something, don't go with the thought that, hey, I will go there, spend 6 months or 12 months, and then I realize. So it's not running a startup. It's primarily testing the waters. It's primarily about feeling great about doing a startup. You're not really doing something. So what we did is, luckily, I think there are two, three things. One, we had our savings. Second, your family and your friends really support you, which has been the case. You have to be very confident and upfront to your founders, saying that whatever happens, we'll at least commit 3 years or 4 years, because that is something which is required. And then if you have been running, if you have been withdrawing salaries which have been great, and that's what we did when we left our jobs, we were all withdrawing good salaries. So you kind of go back to salaries which are nothing, so it's kind of zero to bare minimum.
Yeah.
I think you'll have to leave your ego a lot aside, because you may need to reach out to your friends, your family, saying I might need financial support. So those are pieces which you have to kind of be thoughtful about.
Yeah.
uh, you may have to also rework into your lifestyle standards. Now that's one part of it when you start, and after when you start, what would happen is you will keep thinking whether I hire people, not hire people, what kind of cost I should do. I think that's something which you have to keep taking risk. That's the easiest risk to take is to kind of hire people and test the waters, because it's not a big cost, and it's also a good place for you to add people who can help you grow businesses. So in terms of, we raised a couple of rounds of investments. What it does, I think investment raise is a good exercise, and if you are able to raise good sum, it really helps you, because uh, there are multiple things which you are worried about. You are worried about people, you are worried about business plan, you are worried about hiring talent, you are worried about compliances, and you are learning also in the process. One thing which you don't want to really worry about is to worry about cash in the bank. So if you are able to adequately raise capital, it would really help you to focus on your core business ideas. It's not so easy because there are millions of startups who are wanting to raise money. So if you are not the best guy around, they would obviously invest in something who is even better. And finally, I think while you want to raise capital, one thing you should not really get yourself distressed about is my business will run on investors' money. You should be clearly thoughtful about that. My business has to run on the money which I get from my customers, and that would validate your business ideas even better, so that you keep doing stuff which can help you get more customers and more revenue for helping you create a large or a good organization.
Right. So coming to the last question, like what life lessons has your entrepreneurial like journey taught you, like during the time, like since you started until today?
Uh, I think one of the biggest lesson which I learned is leaving the job is the easiest risk.
Yeah.
I think that's something which is very simple to take. And the entrepreneur journey is all about taking risks regularly. It's every day is challenging. Every night you keep thinking of what best to do. Uh, you should have a family which is supportive. So you cannot have a stressful life personally and you think of running a startup. So a good family support system really helps. You should look for founders with whom you align yourself, who are equally wanting to have put in their efforts in the business, because it might not be easy for you to kind of lose your startups or founders. So we have four co-founders have been doing that for 8 years. There'll be ups and downs. It's about important to kind of leave your ego aside and think about the bigger goodness of the startup. And I think startup is a word which has been used very as a fashion statement. I think you should start thinking of even small pawn shop guy is running a business is also a startup. So don't get into the mode of let me kind of uh, get some uh, get some view here and there, get me some posts, let me get that fashion. So think about, when you have to do a startup, think about creating business which could be meaningfully creating value for yourself, for your investors, or for different people who are there in the organization.
Right.
Share your profits, share whatever you earn, because you should be the last person to earn or take the money home if you have to. So what it means is you have to keep investing in. If you earn X, you have to invest back most of it to your organization itself, then share that wealth in formats of ESOPs to the employees who have been there with you. And because these guys would stand with you every time, and you cannot keep running through tough and good times alone. So keep focusing on that and build tech businesses, and with a lot of focus, those are the businesses which can really help you scale.
So adding to that only, like what was the factors that got you together on the entrepreneurial journey, like during the time, like with your colleagues or with your team members, like what your journey with them?
So I think what brings you together is always the core vision of the company and what you want to create. You have to keep re-emphasizing the whole thought. You have to keep going back to your drawing board discuss where are we headed to. You keep taking pivots multiple times. You have to keep understanding what's happening right or wrong. You have to keep questioning. Things would go fine. You would have to start saying whether you want to really do throughout your life. If you're not, you have to take a stop and say, can I really look at my business again? And we've done that multiple times. We started as a corporate gifting for the first 3 to 6 months. We realized this is not what we wanted to do. We got into experiences, gifting again. We said that's not something we want to do. We want to do something which is more tech, and hence you keep changing. Because inertia is not the best thing to happen. You have to keep changing the momentum, keep pushing yourself, and keep sharing that with your founders and with your larger set of people who have joined you with a belief that, okay, I would be able to create something meaningful out of this association.
Right. So coming in the end, like, would you like to share your views about My Startup TV, and also would you like to share any message for our viewers?
No, I think these the ecosystem in India has changed drastically from a startup. I think in the last 8 10 years, we've seen multiple companies which have been helping startups learn. And that's where you guys are also coming in. So it's always helpful for people to learn from somebody else's mistake, and a platform like yours would really help in doing that. And to the founders, I think while you might learn a lot through channels like this or reading blogs, finally you'll have to take that punt. And these everybody goes through a different journey. So what happened with me is something which may not happen with you. So it's good to kind of get some indicators from what you hear from people on, but finally you'll have to take your own bet, and what you might see might be very different from what we are. So I think take the step, take the punt if you want to take in. And it's not necessarily everybody has to do a startup. It's not that you have been sent by God to create a startup. So you can do a good job in a good company and earn as much wealth or even far higher wealth than what you might earn in a startup. So be very clear in your mind, focus, and do something if you want to.
So thank you so much for joining us on My Startup TV for the Founders Talk Show and sharing your story with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I'll go back.